Hi everyone, welcome to my Plurilingual Jigsaw project. My name is Luke Seha, and today I'm going to be presenting on identity and art for plurilingual students. So, what is it? It's the use of creative expression to help students who speak multiple languages explore and represent their personal, cultural, and linguistic identities. What does it do? It allows them to reflect on their identity and express themselves artistically, beyond words, and even with words. It works on their literacy, their writing, their research skills, and their critical thinking. How can we implement it? I mean, there's so many ways that you could try to implement it and change them to however you would like, but some main ones are literature projects, research projects, interview projects, which you might remember from our ethnography report with interviewing a relative or a parent. Another one is a timeline project and a family tree project. Some of these I remember all doing growing up and how kind of important and detrimental they were for me because you don't really do think of projects until you're in high school and stuff, but in elementary having these kind of projects really does challenge yourself and your critical thinking because you have to do more than just read and answer some questions. You have to research and you have to dive deep into yourself, into your history, who you are, and where you come from. And I remember doing that with the family tree project and doing research projects when I was younger. And I like the examples that I put out here. Looking at the right side is example that you can take from a literature or research project. After looking and reading, researching about somebody from their culture or just the history of their culture, just as we did for our ethnography, you can have them do an art project of themselves, of who they are on the outside versus who they are on the inside. You can see on the outside, it's just, a student with their hair, their glasses, how you see them. But on the inside, they are so much more than that. And I love just how much she put into the other half with, as you see the teddy bears, the flowers, the guitar, the skateboard, so many things you probably would not know about this student if you didn't do this kind of project with him. And another one is the timeline photo that I put right in the middle. I love it because you really get to see what's important to your students. And it's a great way as a teacher to learn a little bit about them because in all of these important events, her birth, growing up, one of them she had to include in there was in the middle on the bottom. She put that she went skiing in 2008 because she either had so much fun or loved it so much and it was such a impactful event in her life that she had to put it on her timeline. And it's good to know things like that as a teacher so you know what's important to them and what kind of things they like, what they're interested in. And another really simple one is on the very left side. You can see a student by the name of Davis. He wrote the letters of his name, and in the other squares, he wrote things he likes. He likes art, he likes taking pictures, he likes dogs, babies, swings, Christmas. That is such a simple, even like first day of school, get to know you type. Because I remember in my after school program when I did the like get to know you paper where they fill out their favorite color and this and that, all my students were like, "Oh, we already did this with every teacher, blah blah blah." So that's just another way to spice things up, do something they probably haven't done before. And there's so many more different projects that you can do. And even with these projects that I've showed you, you can tweak these to however you would like to make it a different subject, different topic, and they're all going to have the same effect of allowing your students to express themselves and reflect on who they are. Because, in the end, we want them to work on their critical thinking and their literacy, just working on using their resources to find out information and using that information to help their academic vocabulary and helping their fluency, all of these different things that we want as a teacher. And last but not least, I just want to show some tools to help within your classroom for plurilingual students. These are some that, I have used in my own experience with my after school program because where I'm from, my community is 90% Hispanic. So a lot of students in my school are English learners, and a lot of them are English is their second language and Spanish is their first. And I also speak Spanish, so it's very, my kids really enjoy that I am able to understand them and speak with them in both languages, and it makes them feel, just a little more comfortable. But these are some things that I use because I'm not fully fluent. So sometimes, I'm going to need the use of technology with translators. I know with a lot of my students, when we're doing homework time, some of them get their math homework in Spanish, and they all know Spanish, but there's some mathematical words that even I don't know, they don't know. So guess what? We go to our translator and we look up what that word might mean. And it helps us understand the problem. It breaks that barrier that there is. And I'm able to help them with their homework. They're able to understand it better. Just simple things like that. It doesn't get in the way of anything. Using a translator is so easy. And another thing I want to go over is the acronym KISS. Usually it means keep it simple, stupid, but I'm not using that one today. I'm using it for keep it slow and simple. And I mean this when talking to your plurilingual students. I have some students in my class who Spanish is their first language, and it's a little bit tougher for them to understand English in both speaking and in writing. And I noticed that when I catch myself rambling on and on or speaking very fast to them, they don't understand what I'm saying. They'll say, "Huh? Like what was that?" And I catch myself in the moment because I realize, like, what am I doing? When I speak to somebody in Spanish, it's hard for me when they're very fluent and they're speaking super fast. It's hard for me to understand, and it's the same way around for these kids. When I say, "Hey, Steven, can you go up and get this chair?" Or, "Hey, Steven, can you go and get the ball so we can play?" That's not going to process in his brain. I have to keep it slow and keep it simple. Say, "Hey, Steven, can you go get the ball over there so that we can play?" Something simple as that. I know that my kids notice it and they appreciate it because I see the look on their face like, "Oh, hey, yes, I understood that. Thank you for speaking in that way so that I know." And you're not dumbing anything down for them, really. It's just, speaking clearly, slowly so that they have a better chance to process what you're saying to them. Last but not least is showing interest and encouraging expression, integrating what you learn about your students. So as I mentioned before with all the projects, they're great ways to be able to get to know a little bit more about your student, to be able to connect with them, and you don't want that to go to waste. You want to remember those little fun facts about your students, like about how the student loves skiing. She went skiing one time and she had a great time. So guess what? I'm going to remember that and I'm going to bring it up during lessons. If there's a math problem with snow, I'm like, I wonder if there's enough snow for Cindy to go skiing and stuff like that. Little things to help engage them and they feel more connected. You want them as a student to feel valued because the more valued that they feel in the classroom, the better learning environment that you're going to have. They're going to feel so much more comfortable. And I love the little graphic on the right that I created with the text bubbles, just, their thoughts, oh, he remembered about that. Or little Cindy on the left saying, I feel valued because he cares about what I do on the weekend. Or he cares about the stories I tell him because he remembers them. And these are just a couple tools to help in your classrooms for when you do encounter your plurilingual students, because it's bound to happen. I mean, our country is so diverse, as we learned about in all of our ethnography reports. And these are just some of the tools to help you be able to get them more comfortable in your classroom and really let them learn to the best of their ability. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed and were able to take something from my presentation. And I hope you're able to take it, remember it, and hopefully implement it when you guys have your classroom and when you're with your students. So again, thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.